And we're back. So, let's do some neuron shit. Uh-oh. I was thinking that's just like he's a con man. Let me press that button. Mexicans versus Chileans, and then this, and they're fighting for that. The Mexicans held no grudge against the Chileans. Business is business after all. Well, clearly they held a grudge for something because of that note we read before. What did it say again? Right. So yeah, they held a grudge. I don't know, like special transport and special wagon. Yeah, I was like, they're the same thing, basically. Or no, wait. No. Special wagon was... No, the special transport was for the barge. The Mexicans had recently utilized barges at the lake, probably to transport something very heavy. Now, I don't know what the other option is, but, or if there is one, but this seems like it's, you know, they have barges. Yes. The Vanish train was carrying a special wagon ordered by Mr. Robinson. It could contain something very important, so... the Doncaster telegram, that is the place where the guy was bribed. So we're sort of missing something there as well. But I'm not sure what it is. So we know that we still have some evidence to gather, and I don't see any connections that I already didn't mess up or get, so let me go back. What was it? Doncaster telegram. Right, so there's still that Mexican roaming around, so let's go there. Thank you. And we got some other things. Let me just check again what they were. So we got the barges. The train cannot be sunk in the flooded quarry. Yeah, it could be. He's probably...
You'll find nothing interesting here, I'm afraid.
Not gonna talk to us. And I have no idea where that Mexican dude went. Oh, this is the same place. And we already... Maybe there's something more in here. Now I remember that the jacket is there. Oh. It was blue, so maybe there's something else in here too that we missed. No. Or maybe...
The sums
right.
quite impressive.
And I was...
It can be an expensive vice. This man had probably used all his savings.
God damn it. So, yeah, that was... I was turning them around before. I even mentioned it separately that I'm swinging them around. So let's see if he talks to us now that we can sort of... Oh, Jesus. That we can sort of pressure him into pressure him into giving us some more information, or at least, because I think we need more, but
I observe that you are a gambling man, Mr. Duff. You had hoped that your relocation to this small town might have helped ease your addiction, but it was not to be.
I beg your pardon. Addiction to what?
We found a number of horse racing tickets inside your office. Well, well, we all have our weaknesses. An expensive obsession, surely, for a station master.
It is none of your business. I occasionally attend the races with my colleagues. And anyway, that's my private life.
Goodbye, sir.
You'll find nothing interesting here.
right now we have some more neurons. So, Doncaster Telegram and Doncaster Master. Doncaster Master. The train passed through Doncaster Station, the station master reported. The train never passed through Doncaster Station. The station master lied and sent a false report. Perhaps he was bribed with the money he desperately needed. Now, out of these two, definitely this one. Other reasons that he could be bribed is they passed this place with a fucking fake ass train. So I would imagine that that is enough reason to bribe him. So we're not really getting anywhere, but I'm not sure if I should follow the game's lead in a way and just assume a whole lot that I'm not personally satisfied with because the game knows better in a sense. So they definitely bribed him. No, wait a minute. This is the station where... Is this the... Let me just click that because that's what I sort of agree with, but let's have a look. Yeah, so this is the station where they passed this station with the fake train, probably when they were drunk, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And they also could have sent the train into the lake while he was here, or if I want to believe that he's, not that bad of a person, they did it before there, and he's just looking at fucking Mexicans driving fake trains around and drinking and digging holes. But still, I just don't, like, my brain isn't enough to understand why they faked the train. Let's do it. Let's play a game of if I were a Mexican, like a gang person. I would not have faked that. I would have just killed them and then left quickly. There's a whole lot of stuff that they sort of needed, like extra steps, which leads me to believe that because this leads me to believe that they needed and wanted the device. They somehow knew that the Chileans were going to buy it. And then they... so obviously they didn't sort of steal the wagon, or the heavy tracks are there but not there and not here. So there's a lot of stuff there's so much unnecessary steps here, I think, for me personally at least. Whoops. So much weirdness going on. Oh, there he is. So... we need to find the Mexican. And maybe... I think we might have to leave and then come back. Let's go to Chesterfield real quick. Oh, Crime and Punishment. That makes sense. I've never read it, so I don't know what the similar theme is. That might be my undoing. So he's bought some fishing line from some dude, I guess, because he had it in his pocket. There's not much here, and I'll make sure, yeah, so the Morse code alphabet is here. Like, this case is just completely off the wall.
Ah, will I ever get any peace?
No. There's nothing there. So let's go back to the other place, whatever its name was that we just came from, and see if we can find the Mexicans. I think we need to just talk to him. But he sort of appears. I remember him appearing again the same way that he did before. Not this time. Are we missing something?
This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs.
Oh, we're missing something.
This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs.
Right.
Watson,
Oh my
it
god.
seems that both South American companies were involved in the purchase of the mine.
The man at Doncaster who fled our approach, he smokes Mexican cigars. Perhaps.
Yes, Watson. We should certainly speak with him.
Oh shit, he's right here. A bit bugged out. Oh, hello.
Please, sir, we would ask you not to leave. We have some questions.
Are you the police?
No, we are employed by the railway company. We are collecting witness statements about the train that disappeared last night.
Lo siento, I'm in a hurry.
Really? It seemed that you were waiting here for someone. Could you tell us if you were at the station last night?
No, I just arrived from South America.
A formidable journey, no doubt. Which country are you from?
De Chile.
Wrinkles. Some sort of skin tags on his neck. Guess normal clothing. Cigar. Expensive cigar. His hands. Martial arts. I would not have noticed that from anything. Oh crap, I'm looking at it again. Strong build. Smart clothes.
Chile. But you are Mexican.
No, you are wrong. Why would you think I'm Mexican?
There's nothing wrong with being a Mexican.
Because of your cigars.
Sí, cigarrillos. So what?
Those cigars are the Ricardo brand, from Mexico. It is quite impossible to find them anywhere but there.
Pero not your business.
I don't suppose that you are on vacation. What business brought you here?
I was to meet my fellow compañeros. Where did you arrive yesterday? They were on that damn train.
Holy shit.
I will stay here and hope that the authorities find them. Or their bodies. It's now my responsibility to repatriate them.
Who authorized you to do that?
The company I work for.
Could you tell me the name of the company?
It's not your concern.
And what is your name?
Enough questions. Buenas tardes.
Not a very friendly man, and he is lying. He said that he just arrived, but we know that he has been here for several days.
Indeed. And he said that they were supposed to arrive on that damn train. So, we are in Doncaster. But I'm bothered, because that can be taken in two ways, obviously, which is, they were not on the train. Or then the train did not arrive. Now, in any case, he is lying, but he's lying, however, he might have just hinted at him stating, like, if I could ask him which way it was, that he would, well, then he would realize what he said, of course. But he sort of hinted at them being on that damn train, but the train never arrived, because he said the damn train rather than, but those damn fucking assholes weren't on the train. So, I mean, let's just assume right now, because there's so much shit to go through right now. So I will say that the train never arrived at Doncaster. He's waiting for some friends. The train would never have arrived anyway, because both the exits are here. So that gives us nothing. Absolute zilch. I cannot deduce or really take anything from our little talk there. I mean, yeah, maybe, but... Oh, okay. The Mexican Cargo Company held a grudge against the Chilean Barcazas group, as the Chileans were favored for purchasing the WEA coal mines despite the Mexicans' preliminary sales contract. So they did hold a grudge, but for what? I'm just gonna have to choose that. The Mexicans organized the Chileans to stay on the train. That is why the controller removed all the passengers except for the Chileans, and then one person from the first class, at least one person from first class, but I would imagine the only person from first class, because everyone else was like a worker. That's what someone said, that it's like a train for workers and stuff, and the other guy had a cheap train ticket. So they lured the only other person from first class away from there, and they did that because they care, at least somewhat. They don't want to murder just everybody. They want to murder just the Chileans and no one else for some reason. I was hoping for more. So I don't think he could have sent the message without the train. So I guess the game, we have to go with the game now. So He could have sent the report without witnessing the train. I don't believe he could have sent the report without witnessing the train, but he could have been drunk, he could have been sleeping. So let's say the train passed through Chesterfield Station despite our being unsure. Someone stole the rails to temporarily cover the missing section of the old railway to the flooded quarry. Somebody stole the rails to temporarily cover the missing section of the railway into the mines. So, if the train passed through Chesterfield, then it would be this one. Someone stole the rails to temporarily cover the missing section of the old railway to the flooded quarry. Because this is the mines are in the north, and this is after Chesterfield. This is before Chesterfield. The train has been sunk in the flooded quarry. Mexicans drowned Chileans. The Mexicans' inhumanity towards the Chileans has cost many lives. We must act quickly. Contact Lestrade and allow the police to perform their loud and swift justice even at the risk of international conflict. A criminal organization such as this cannot be confronted directly. It requires a delicate approach. Give Mycroft the chance to resolve the conflict, even though it might be protracted and turned to his own advantage. Now, this sort of everything fell into place. Because I allowed the game to sort of make these assumptions for me, in a sense. Where, how did I end up with, right? So it never passed Chesterfield because the station master would not have faked it. But there's a problem with this logic because someone else could have faked it while he was sleeping. He said he never left his office, so maybe, because we don't know if he sleeps like completely or I can't remember now. Let me check one thing. Here, dialogue, Chesterfield Station. How could he fall asleep at work like this? Excuse me, sir, wake up. So we had to yell at him for him to wake up. Now, maybe he can sort of time his sleeps and stuff, but that's, like, we have to assume so much. So he was sleeping. Now, but of course, if I don't know, like, he knows that there's no trains coming. He could be sleeping, but we had to, I lost my train of thought, which was that we had to sort of, we could talk, we pretty much had to yell at him for him to wake up. So if he's fallen asleep, anyone could use the telegram machine and just send a message. So we're pretty much nowhere right now. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Well, we're going to Chesterfield anyway. So, I'll just have a little look around here. He's got bottles everywhere. That's a fish carcass. Food that he hasn't eaten. A window from which to see the train. Let me, 30 and 35. 30 and 35. So that sounds like it's made up, but also it's... Is it... Because is there a schedule here? Do you have a fucking schedule I could see, goddammit? The train was delayed at the first station. So if I would know where the train was supposed to be and when. Now here's a schedule, but I can't read it because it's just a prop. Calendar 1891. Am I guess this guy is like totally out of it. I don't know. Like I thought this was 1895. He's been drunk since 91. More food. He's got food everywhere. Grain. So he can definitely see the train if he sees it. If the train never arrives, he's not going to wake up. Because he can't hear the whistle, he can't hear anything. And I'm still like flabbergasted by this device, because why do it? If they're bored and they're hanging out here and they got nothing to do, I can imagine them getting drunk and just pranking shit. But, well, let's say they get drunk and they want to prank people, and then they're like, well, the train is, the railway is flooding, so we should probably block or make sure that the railway doesn't flood. Oh, well, of course, damn, of course. They had to make sure that the railway doesn't flood, because if it does, they can't. If it floods, because railways are pretty flat, so maybe the flood would sort of get out of hand. So I was thinking maybe the water like just floods all the way around. I'm sure there are like ups and downs on the railroad, but because it's sort of circular logic in a sense, where the railroad would that they would go with this cart. I mean, they did it, so whatever. They used this cart as a prank or whatever, and they had to make sure that it can get through there. And they did both for whatever reason. I can't imagine any reason for doing that. It would have been best to make the train disappear, honestly. One thing is that the drunk guy saw the train, they bribed the other guy so that they could make it seem like the train went from here to there. Oh, and also, of course, if the railroad is flooded, they could never claim that the train came there. That's actually a thought I had, and then I interrupted myself. But that was actually, I had this thought before. So that is actually important. So they had to keep the railroad from flooding because they had to claim that the train reached all the way down there, but that still doesn't get me anywhere. So stop flood to fake. What was the name? Doncaster. Coster. But still. If I think about it this way, which would be the better option? Even when this guy, because they clearly, well, maybe they didn't just get him drunk, maybe he got them drunk, actually. Shit. Maybe that's how it happened. So the station master got them drunk in a sense because he was drinking all the time and they stole wine. it must sort of help them as well. But if I were the Mexicans and I wanted to, if I wanted to steal the prototype, I would go here. If I wanted to kill the Chileans and destroy the machine, or either or both, I would send the train into the lake. This is much more certain in a sense of destruction than that, because over there you have to drive the train in, you have to kill them basically, you have to block the entrance or drop the whole thing on the train. And also, they didn't want the Chileans to think that anything was wrong over here. So turning all the way over here, and I'm actually missing a really big point here. The engineer. They planted a ticket guy on the train, but they didn't. Did they plant an engineer as well? A person who could actually drive a train? Because if they can't do that, then driving the train in here with an engineer that knows where the train is going is sort of, it's not going to work. So over here they need an engineer, a planted engineer that can drive into here, stop the train, I guess, take the device, put it on the barge, go across. There's just too much to go on here, and I think that I'm not really getting anywhere. So let me look at the neurons. Did I finish all of them? No. Right, so does this one? Yes. So the loss of the prototype will bring a lot of easy money to Mr. Robinson thanks to the insurance and multiple fraudulent exclusive contracts. So this is a problem because it depends on whether the device was real or not. If it was not real, it's not going to bring him, but he was going to destroy it anyway because there's no other way to sort of survive that. Oh, and I didn't mean to click it, whatever. So let me see. Oh shit, because I didn't realize I still had some of these neurons, so I should look at them. I have no idea how that special wagon. The loss of the prototype will bring... Oh, it's here. The loss of the machine is a disaster for Mr. Robinson. Even though he planned this fraud, he has lost far more than he could gain. The insurance will not cover the total cost of the prototype, and neither will the 40%. So he gets 90% now. And if we believe his words, because this is also a problem, because we don't know whether he is a con man or like whether he's conning us or not. So like whether he planned this or not. But because he did not leave and he's waiting for a refund for a ticket, I don't think he would give a shit about a ticket, basically. But that is, I don't know him, so I don't know what he would do. Like, people do shit, crazy shit, and I most of the time I don't understand what people are doing. So, he has lost far more than he could gain, which is possibly true. He already had 4 contracts signed. Robinson is a victim. Well, I wouldn't exactly call him a victim. But is that all the clues? Yes. So, Let's get all the conclusions. The Mexicans drowned the Chileans. Oh, what did it say? Carefully planned murder. Alright, so then if we go to... He will get a lot of money. It doesn't change. But all of this is pretty much like... Can it not be Mexicans and Robinson? Because that would make, you know, if you want to charge someone, I think there's more than enough to charge Robinson for something, so... I mean, I was going to do a reveal of this ending in a sense where I have all the different conclusions and then play the sort of ending. But, because this is not true. He could have sent the report without witnessing the train. Not true. He can see the train. He's not. The train stayed there for 5 minutes, so he's not going to do that. So if it passed Chesterfield, it's in the lake. There's no other option. And because the other option was very particular in a sense, where like the other option just wouldn't be, so I mean, there's so much fluff going on and everything, but so blind justice would mean that it would mean that most of the Mexicans escape, basically, because they're probably already gone, although I don't really care for an international conflict. And I don't care to give Mycroft sort of an advantage. But I do think, and I don't really, well, a delicate approach, sure, because there's so many people involved. I would imagine maybe Mycroft can figure out and find everyone responsible. This one will just get sort of this guy charged, and maybe it's not even enough to charge him in a sense. So it's better to sort of play this as underhandedly as they played this whole situation. Yes.
Then the case is solved, Holmes. What do you intend to do?
Well, I shall require assistance for the arrests. There were accomplices.
Ah, but I know that look. You have your own ideas. What are they, Holmes?
On the one hand, we have the local constabulary and advice from our friend Lestrade. The problem we have there is that the authorities seem to be incapable of acting quietly. They rely on brute force. It could result in an international scandal. Our other option is Brother Mycroft and his tedious political games. He will locate the guilty parties without any trouble, but it will be a long and drawn-out process, and possibly with some compromise that will be to Mycroft's benefit. But I think I'd prefer to give Mycroft a chance. We should overlook our personal differences on this occasion.
Let us go home, then. I'd like to begin writing a draft of this story.
No, I did not say that we had finished here yet.
Well, all right. What did I miss?
Watson, we know that the Barcazas Company directors were drowned in the flooded quarry, along with the train and Robinson's prototype. But we still need to corner the guilty party.
But how do you intend to prove... Oh, no. Please don't tell me we have to dive into the lake.
Huh. You may rest assured that I have a far better idea. We have only to use our corrupt Doncaster station master as bait. he will unwittingly trap our Mexican friend.
Of course, you already had a plan. I shall follow you, Holmes.
Well, the case is solved, and we shall be heading home. May we have 2 tickets to London, please?
Right away. Wait a minute. You've solved the case?
In a manner of speaking, can you believe that the rescue service miraculously saved one of the Chileans who were on board the train? The police have ordered his immediate escort to London on the next train.
He pulled through then? He's alive?
Yes, by extreme good fortune. His condition is quite serious, and the method of transportation has its risk, but he will be held securely by the doctor and police officers. The gentleman carries some vital information on this case. I am sure of it.
Ah, really?
Your station will be famous, Mr. Duff. The journalists will be here before you know it. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, you are under arrest.
Caramba! You traitor! You double-crossed me!
Holy shit.
Good shot, Watson. I always knew you were a talented marksman.
I didn't want another life lost in this case, Holmes.
Oh my God! I thought I was a dead man.
You shouldn't be so glad about it. You'll be up before the judge.
Your testimony will be of great importance to the investigation. I would remind you that your cooperation will be the best way to ease your sentence. By the way, Watson, would you be so kind as to give me some shooting lessons later on?
Yes, but not in our sitting room, and not with you wearing a blindfold.
Right. It was carefully planned murder. The Mexicans killed the Chileans and sank the train to hide their crime. The dam breach was played to their advantage. They used their own barges to keep the train on the run for a few seconds and then sank it in the flooded quarry. What? They used their own barges to keep the train on the run for a few seconds and then sank it in the quarry. The railway tracks were removed to hide the crime. A criminal organization such as this cannot be confronted directly, requires a delicate approach. So this is at least what we sort of concluded. Now, diving in the lake would have actually been a good idea to sort of prove it. And there were all kinds of things that made this sort of a weird case, and also I had the advantage of having played this before, so I knew what was happening. And I knew what was sort of, I had some knowledge beforehand, which sort of helped me with the enormous amount of information that was being pushed through. So, with that said, the next case is going to be completely new to me, and I will probably take a little bit longer with it because the first 2 cases I had some previous knowledge, so I didn't really have to sit on information that much. It was more of actually knowing what I'm doing now, having learned the game, and then knowing certain sort of bigger events, and then just figuring out what to do. But we will accept this decision, and we'll see what is up in the next case. So 71% of people solve it the same way. 62% made the same moral choice. So in the last case, I think I skipped all of this to sort of give a more I guess a sort of not an edited ending, but a sort of ending that you could maybe like a bit more straightforward, because I was thinking so much and for so long and stuff, and it was just easier to skip all this, and also so that these numbers wouldn't really be shown. But I guess it doesn't really matter if I would imagine that I would imagine that people solve the case correctly. So I'm not sure if how this is calculated, whether it calculates every attempt or whether it calculates sort of the final result. So if I ever come back to this again, it's probably going to send another report in of how people solve this and so on. But we'll see.
Holmes, what happened?
I feel deathly.
And you look it. Let me examine you. Please don't tell me that you've returned to your old habits. The pupil is dilated.
Oh, okay, so I'll go through this because it won't allow me to save here, I don't think.
The temperature appears to be normal. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. I need to concentrate and count the heartbeats. A weak pulse, around 50 beats per minute.
Did I see something between his thumb and
But you're
sort of
dying,
index
Holmes.
finger?
Your pulse rate is dropping. We need to get you to the hospital immediately.
The antidote. Give it to me.
The antidote? You mean that you're poisoned?
Now. Please.
Here, drink it all. Don't tell me that you did this to yourself.
Hemlock and datura. I was compelled to.
Holmes, imagine if I'd not returned home when I did. What might have happened?
I knew that you would.
Mr. Holmes, Inspector Lestrade is here to see you.
Mr. Holmes is unable to see anyone at the moment. He is unwell.
A good day, Inspector.
Ah, Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to find you here. I need your help. This is a strange one. We have brought in 2 young bankers from the city, sons of lords, members of the chamber, and so on and so forth. They were found stranded in a rowing boat that was drifting on the Thames.
A romantic escapade with an unhappy ending, Lestrade.
What? Well, yes, they were both in the bath, but... what?
As I said,
And they were tied together.
you are lacking in imagination, Inspector.
Well, no, I'm not. Anyway, there was a banner flapping about in the boat with the RMS Oceanic printed on it and signed by the Merry Men.
The Oceanic. Isn't that the largest steamer ever built?
Yes. And these 2 young banker chaps are sons of the owners of the White Star Line, the company that built it. There are rumours of corruption.
I'm not interested in politics, Lestrade.
I'll keep it then. Here's another one that's a bit more complex and maybe to your liking. It's a murder, but we're unable to find any weapon. We haven't touched anything. It's at the Roman Baths in Strand Lane.
A murder, a vanishing weapon, the Roman Baths. That's for us. Watson, fetch your hat.
Okay. Seems like an interesting thing. So they stole the gang stole some powder, and then, which is like TNT, and then they kidnapped some influential children and possibly stole the largest steamer around, which is interesting. So we are going to solve this case perfectly in the next case, or this case, whatever, next video series, or Jesus, in the next one. Not in the next video, but you know what I mean. See you there.